Humans have integrated animals into our society throughout lifetimes. Nowadays, almost everyone has a pet, like mine, who comes with a lot of responsibility, but also proves time and time again that they're worth it. Animals can be seen integrated throughout society in many different ways, with many different species. There are species from elephants to guinea pigs who have caused humans to experience positive effects, and even the animals too. My name is Caitlin Klein, and for the past 3 months I have been researching the neurobiology behind these bonds and how it affects behavior. Most of my research came from a book called The Social Neuroscience of Human-Animal Interactions. This book has 5 authors, but the main one is Lisa S. Freund. The book is based off of a lot of empirical studies that have so many different topics from science, such as neuroscience, psychology, and genetics. It highlights the neurobiological mechanisms that facilitate these human-animal interactions, the positive benefits that it produces for both the animal and the human, and how we can apply this in the future. The 4 main sections of the book are cognition, neurobiology, science and research considerations, and the conclusion. The cognition sets the stage for deeper social neuroscience. This depicts interactions with infants and children with animals. This shows that infants who have an interaction with animals throughout their childhood have strengthened intense bonds with these animals. It also discusses the role that companion animals play in development for children. The neurobiology section applies neuroscience to these interactions. It goes in depth with the chemicals that are affected, such as oxytocin, cortisol, and dopamine. The evolutionary perspectives on how we have been using human-animal interactions throughout our lives, such as with wolves, evolving into now with pet dogs, and shared neurological mechanisms and social interactions. The science and research considerations section focuses on the scientific uses and ethical considerations that human-animal interactions occur, like the use of them in therapeutic sessions. The conclusion gives the final commentary from each author on the social, therapeutic, and mechanisms of action that the realm of human-animal interactions have, while also discussing how we need to introduce new research for the future. The book harnesses a lot of explanations on how these human-animal interactions affect the neurobiology of both the human and the animal. This book was a blast to read, even though I don't usually like reading, and it opened my perspective and it just shaped the whole research. It provided so much information on truly how these bonds affect everything. So, human-animal bonds have shown chemical changes in animals. A study done by Dr. Gregory Burns has explained how dogs can be trained to use MRI machines. The dogs were given hand signals to facilitate the different types of things the scientists wanted them to think about. A hand signal was associated with their owner, and another hand signal was associated with something that was known the dogs didn't like. When the scientists gave the certain hand signal that meant they're humans in the MRI machines, the dogs showed brain activity within the reward system, or the caudate nucleus. This means that during the scan, the dogs received an increased level of dopamine within their brain. The thought of their human specifically released chemicals that cause them to feel happier, which is what dopamine is, the happy chemical. This shows that the dogs' bond with their humans positively impacts how they feel and even changes their brain chemistry throughout that moment. Human-animal bonds show beneficial behavior and mentality in humans. From a documentary called Wild Cats, it depicts a war veteran called Harry Turner who was struggling with PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, and depression after serving in the war. With feeling this way, Harry Turner wanted an escape from what he has experienced in the war. So he traveled to the Amazon and joined an ocelot research facilitation. There, he bonded with an ocelot cub throughout years. At the end of all these years, his bond with the ocelot cub made him focus all of his energy on this cub. In doing so, it helped restore his mentality and severely helped his PTSD from the war. He noticed his behavior was more positive and he was not as depressed. This bond and focusing all of his energy with this ocelot cub helped him get over the traumatic things he experienced in the war. And it also helped him show beneficial behavior just from one animal cub. Human-animal bonds in therapeutic settings have shown beneficial impacts towards both the patients and the animals. A podcast hosted by Dr. Hilary Marusak talked about how a guinea pig who was applied into a therapy setting with mental health patients affected both the patients and the guinea pig. The guinea pig loved being social with all of the residents there, and the residents felt the same way about the guinea pig. The residents had released dopamine while watching the beloved guinea pig eat. This boosted their mood and changed the chemicals in their brain. This also improved the mental health overall of the patients and even facilitated faster release of these mental health patients from the facility. Animal interactions occur in so many different shapes and forms all around the world. They shape our society, our neurobiology, and we have the same effects on them.